Hello. There are several questions in the community when it comes to the law, especially with immigration matters. That is why I'm inviting you to join us on the program, The Community and the Law, live on BWTV and brought to you by BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. We are going to have a very massive discussion on some of the issues of immigration matters that bother you. And they have the opportunity to meet you live on the program to explain to you all the updates that have come from the Home Office and also address your questions and concerns that you might have when it comes to the law. The Community and the Law is brought to you every Saturday between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. We're live on all social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn, at BWF Solicitors, at BWTV, and of course, we urge you to share the program and invite others to join us. Remember, it's at 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. every Saturday, live on BWTV. You have your questions. There are answers. So join us, learn, and empower yourself on the program, The Community and the Law. So pick up the phone and dial 0208 493 or you can send a text 07950 422 780. It's The Community and the Law. My name is Oreku Frimpong and I am your host. Hello, and we are live on The Community and the Law. Welcome to another Saturday. Welcome to the middle of the year, and welcome to June 2026. My name is Oreku Frimpong. I want to ask you a very interesting question. Is your character good enough for British citizenship? Well, we're looking into that and also trying to get to know what it is that we would have to find out whether we can meet the requirements when it comes to character, and especially when it comes to applying for British citizenship here in the UK. As a Community and the Law is brought to you by BWF Solicitors right now on BWTV.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner. With over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340 or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Hello, 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 and hello once again to another edition of the Community and the Law. We're bringing you this legal educational program under the auspices of BWF Solicitors, our trusted partners when it comes to the law. They're located on the fourth floor of the Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters in North London. You call them on 0208 493 7340. They work Monday to Friday between 9:30 in the morning and 6 p.m. in the evening. So when it comes to all your immigration matters, any legal issues, updates from the Home Office, divorce, marriages, business support, and development, you can trust BWF Solicitors to give you the best of service. And by their courtesy, we come in your way with another edition of the Community and the Law. This very first Saturday of the month of June 2026. I'm asking the question: is your character good enough for British citizenship? Join me as we are going to find out more about what the case is looking for. And we're doing this, and our resource person this afternoon is our very own lawyer Charles Asma, solicitor in the fold of BWF Solicitors. So let me, first of all, welcome lawyer Charles Asma to the program and get him to say his hellos to you before we do the rest of the housekeeping. Lawyer Asma, good afternoon. How are you
Good
doing?
afternoon. Very well. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing very well. Thank God for all the mercies He's shown us. It's another Saturday for us, and we're so very grateful for your time. Very busy as you are, you still make time to meet with us every Saturday afternoon. So we're so grateful, and thank you for coming. Welcome once again.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, viewers, our resource person, as I mentioned, as lawyer Charles Asman, is going to take us through what the case would require when it comes to character, especially when we apply for British citizenship here in the UK. Who qualifies for British citizenship? All those things will be unpicked when we get into the discussion. So, if you joined us, remember we live on BWTV and we are streaming on Facebook and YouTube at BWF Solicitors and at BWTV UK. Happy New Month, happy June. We have actually been traveling so very fast this year, I must say. And this is the first Saturday of the month of June, telling us that we are in the middle of the year 2026. So, whatever it is that you set out doing, please do it and do it quite well. BWF Solicitors, as a member or number of people in the membership and of course in the family I should say, and every month we bring out who has been voted as the employee of the month. And in May, the employee of the month was Pamela Oakley. Pamela is a trainee solicitor, and she does so very well. Sometimes a few of you who have been following us on this program, she sat in this seat before. She's hosted the lawyers before, and she supports the Thursday and Friday ones as well when we have Lawyer Mayati and all the other people on. So, Pamela, congratulations for winning the Employee of the Month of May. And I believe that with that tenacity, you will continue to do everything that will make BWF Solicitors flag fly so very high. And the feedback will definitely come to the glory of every member of the family. So thank you very much for being there. Congratulations. BWF Solicitors is hiring and we're looking for paralegal persons to support our practice, both here in the UK and in Accra. So please put in your application. The deadline is the 30th of June 2026. So when you apply, send your applications to bosu at bwfsolicitors.com. Bosu at bwfsolicitors.com. So the details are on the screen. And remember, the deadline is the 30th of June 2026. Mike comes in with a review and telling us what it is that he feels about BWF solicitors. And he says that BWF solicitors are very professional and hardworking. They are a team that works so very hard, especially Abigail Jan, who has all the patience in the world to explain and assist you in anything you need. Mike says he would recommend BWF solicitor services for anyone in need of immigration services or any legal assistance. And with that, I will go back to Lawyer Smart to say, new month, employee of the month named and giving the congratulations. And also, again, we are looking for paralegals to join us. Any initial comments, Lawyer?
All right. Yeah. So, congratulations to Pamela for being adjudged the employee of the month at BWF Solstice. Being adjudged means that throughout the month in question, the person exemplified, worked harder, went above and beyond, and discharged to make clients happy. And so, Pamela, having ticked all the boxes, we believe that you will continue to take and take more so that every month will definitely be the one to be mentioned. Well done and keep it up. Congratulations once again. Now, on the point of the advert, so to speak, I think it's clear that if you read the second line before we are hiring, the first line is BWF. What's the second line?
Is it a location on the
No, at the top, the very top, after the logo,
we are
right at the
hiring paralegal?
no, that is the second line, but the
BWF
one
solicitors Ghana.
Ghana, that
Okay.
is the context.
Okay.
So we are hiring for the Ghana office.
Okay.
So viewers and listeners, please don't call and say, lawyer, we hear you are hiring. Please, it's Ghana. If you want to
It's
work in
Ghana
Ghana,
office. Okay.
you can apply. But so it's mainly for those in Ghana. So if you have family and friends in Ghana, of course, share the news with them. And if they meet the requirements, they'll be able to apply. So that's what I wanted to clarify.
Okay.
The next one is the review. Of course, it's what we do best, always giving a reason for clients to be happy, and that's one of them. So I'm sure the listeners for today and the viewers for today will be one to be saying thank you and celebrating their successes. And today's conversation, I'm sure definitely those who are going to be listening will definitely have a testimony to share next month. So, yes, we continue to do what we do best, always giving you reason to celebrate.
Having welcomed Lawyer Charles Asma, I want to really welcome those of you who have joined us on this live program. I have mentioned that we live on Facebook and YouTube at BWF Solicitors and at BWTV UK. Nana Jemai has joined us and I says, please share, share, share. Thank you very much. Nana Jemai, wow, very nice and amazing shirt. Oh, thank you. Thank you so very much. If you need one, just DM me. I'll make sure you have one. Good afternoon, everyone from Nanaya. Thank you so very much for joining us, Nanaya. And then we have one from Adair Safu. Please share when you join, and that's also very important. I believe that you'd want to invite other people to join us so we can all share the empowering message that dear BWF Solicitor, I'm talking about Lawyer Charles Asma, will be sharing with us. Very professional, as we have said. And Abigail, you have been specifically mentioned here. Congratulations to you as well. And Mike, thank you for the feedback. If you want to give us any feedback as to what we do, commending people in the family and recommending BWF solicitors to other people, you can send that to BWF solicitors. You DM us on social media platforms at BWF solicitors, or you can send that to the or you go onto our website, so to speak, and leave the comments there. or you do that on Google. Search for BWF solicitors and leave your comments there for us, and we will pick them up and share with people as well. BWF Solicitors continues to empower us and they give us bits to keep in our arsenal when it is that we start the week. And the nugget for this week is about British citizenship and its relationship to council tax and all the rest of it. So the question is, could unpaid council tax cost you British citizenship? We say that many people assume that good character requirement for British citizenship only relates to criminal convictions, but that is no longer the reality. To be fair, the latest Home Office Nationality Guide confirms that financial conduct may be considered when assessing whether an applicant meets the good character requirement. Issues such as unpaid council tax, tax liabilities, honesty in claiming tax, council tax discounts, bankruptcy related misconduct, or failure to deal responsibly with debts can raise concerns during a citizenship application. So before applying for your British citizenship, check for any council tax arrears, resolve outstanding debts where possible, maintain repayment arrangements if liabilities remain, and ensure full disclosure of any financial issues. This is quoted from the Nationality Good Character Requirement for that was introduced the 30th of April 2026. So let me go to the expert and ask, good character. If I owe somebody and I'm not paying, does it mean that I'm a bad person? Um, those details in there that have been listed, lawyer, what are they specifically pointing out to?
Right. Yes. So when the law says good character, it means whether you are somebody that we can rely on, somebody that we
Mm,
can trust, and it's to do with public interest. And if you are someone, for example, who takes advantage of the benefit system in the UK without being honest about it,
mhm.
then your character is not good. So, in terms of character, and again, that would be one of the conversations we'll have for today. It used to be that if it's about council tax and stuff like that, nobody cares so much. But now it's been broadened. So it's not just about criminal conduct or owing debt, but also taking advantage of the benefit system whilst you are not due or supposed to. And with this, we are looking at council tax where people apply for council tax credit or discount. And if you have council tax credit or discount, it means that you meet the requirement. One of those people will be students. The law says that if you're a student, because you are studying, not working, and all that, you should be given discount or credit for your council tax. And again, if you are living with somebody, obviously, if you are a single person, you get discount. If you are two, it's different. So there are a lot of factors to consider. So when you apply for council, when you register for council tax payment, they will ask you how many people live at the property, are you a single occupant, and so on and so forth. Is it a family and all that? Depending on the answers you give them, you may benefit from discount or not. And so people who tend to hide information or do not update information often continue to enjoy the discount or the credit, even though ordinarily they would not have if they knew the accounts, if the DWP, if DWP knew about it, which is the benefit department, knew about it, even the council knew about it, they wouldn't have had that opportunity. So the point we are making is that if from 30th of April 2026, you are not supposed to go near the forbidden pot, which includes council tax credit or discount, and you do so, that becomes a character issue because you lied to take advantage of it.
So, if you say you lied to take advantage of it, a bit of a naive question, but let me ask: how would they find out?
Let me ask you a question, and that's
Hmm.
going to be a brief conversation.
Yes.
Imagine you tell them that you have one bank account in the UK,
Yeah.
one bank account in the
Hmm.
UK, and they write to you to say that you told us you have only one account, but we also see that you have 10 accounts. And now, in that, in one of those other accounts that we have discovered,
Hmm.
you have 10,000 or you have so much money in it.
Yeah.
You didn't tell them. How did they find out? What do you think?
They may have contacted the bank with your details, and they have found out that you had money in there. They were a
That
bit
is one
nosy.
that is one option, but that may take them longer to do that. What
Hmm.
any other option?
Um.
Use maybe.
Mhm.
They may what? What else do you think?
They could check your credit file.
And the credit file is not for them. Why would they be able to check your credit file?
So how would they find out?
Exactly. It simply means that they have access to everything as long as that thing is in the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
It's it's a,
it's
it's a,
data that is shared.
it's a database of all the information, including your travel in and out of the UK. They have airline history, the airline you traveled, everything. If they
Mhm.
want to, they know where to go to. So everything, court system, health system, travel system, aviation, council system, landlord, anything, even your own private activities. If they want to, they will know. So how did they find out? Because they have a system to find out.
Okay.
And if they don't mention it, it means they don't really need it. But if they need it, they will tell you that we know. And so where they know, and you thought that they didn't know, they will come and tell you that this is it. And they will give you the evidence. So the point is that if before today people were not sure, now that they know that they can find out about everything and anything, at the moment, because the rules are clear, if you are a
Mhm.
claimant and something happens, you have to go on the system and update, or you call them to update, right?
Mhm.
So if you don't update and you continue to enjoy, thinking that how would they find out, then you are lying about it to enjoy. True or false?
True.
Exactly. So when they find out, they will check the timing and conclude that no, your character is not something that we can tolerate.
All right. That dovetails into what discussion we'll be having this afternoon. So I would want you to stay put and get ready for that discussion, because some of these very thought-provoking conversations will be happening, and we will be finding out what it is that you need to look for, especially when you want to apply for British citizenship. It's all live on the community and the law, and it's brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Now, what I do mostly is when we have looked at the nugget, we try to see if we can apply it in our situation and see if we have really understood it. So let's look at the scenario. Um, I wouldn't pose a question to lawyer, but I'll pose it to you out there. So when it is that you have given me the answer, I'll check with what the experts say, and we see if our answers are correct or not. Bruce completed his master's degree course in June 2025. During his studies, he applied for council tax discount as a student, and he was granted. Despite completing the course, he has been receiving this discount up to date. The accumulated discount that he has claimed since June 2025 is £4,500. He's planning towards UK naturalization application and needs legal advice. What would you say to him? Are you going to say that Bruce's naturalization application may be refused for falsely claiming council tax discount? Are we saying that Bruce's naturalization application may be granted because he did not know that he should have stopped claiming the discount? Or none of the above because UK naturalization application requirements do not include council tax discount? Think through it. I will ask you for your answers when it is that we get to the point when I want to test your knowledge on that. And remember, we're still live on the Community and the Law, and the program is brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Our resource person this afternoon is lawyer Charles Asma. We'll be right back.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Welcome back, lovely family, and we live on BWTV, and it's brought to you by BWF Solicitors. Is your character good enough for British nationalization, British citizenship? That's what we mean, and we want you to join us and stay with us so we find out more about the things that they will look for in the case. I mentioned that we brought to you by BWF Solicitors, located on the 4th floor of Vienna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road, Seven Sisters in North London. You can call them 0208 493 7340, or in emergency situation 077 127 61884. Now, on this program, if you have a question to put to lawyer Charles Asma, either on the topic that we're discussing or any other legal issue that is bothering your mind, you can send it a text on 07399 208 468, 07399 208 486. Or when the lines are active after the discussion, you can call in and speak to lawyer Asma yourself on the number 0208 493 7345, 0208 493 7345. Having said that, and then the housekeeping, Lasma, let's get straight into the discussion. And I would ask, naturalization or acquiring British citizenship, who qualifies for that? And what is that even actually about?
Thank you very much, Brakuku.
Yeah.
The topic under consideration or discussion, as you rightly said, is what the caseworker will look for when making a decision on your application. And the application is naturalization application. You ask, what does it mean? What is naturalization? Naturalization means that you are an adult and you are making an application to remain in the UK, and not just to remain, but to become a British citizen. And
Mhm.
this application will be decided under Section 6, Schedule 1 of the British Nationality Act 1981. So we will let's take a quick commercial break, and as soon as we return, we'll come back with the key details of the specific law. Producer.
Okay, all right. So we will pay tribute to our benefactors. We're talking BWF solicitors located on the fourth floor of the Anna House, 214 to 218 Tottenham High Road. Remember to call them on 0208 493 7340. BWF solicitors. The advertisement will be back.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contestant and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the fourth floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Thank you for sticking around and thank you for joining us. If you just joined us, we're live on BWTV at BWF Solicitors and at BWTV UK. We are looking at good character, that requirement when it is that you want to naturalize as a British citizen. Um, Before we went for the break, I was looking at who qualifies for that. Lawyer Charles Osma explained that. But then let's look at that aspect that we need to look at. And I'm asking the question: is your character good enough for better citizenship? Last one. Let's see if we can look at what we do that may not allow us to become British citizens, or may allow us to do that. What do we need to do? What do we not need to do? We want to find out what the caseworkers are looking for.
Sure. So, as we earlier mentioned, naturalization application is an application to become a British citizen, and you make such application after you have been granted indefinite leave to remain. Depending on your circumstance, you may go ahead and apply for naturalization immediately, or you may have to wait for 1 year before you put in the application. In addition to English language requirement, in addition to life in the UK requirement, in addition to 5 years residence in the UK, there's also requirement for character, and that is the conversation, good character. The caseworker that will be assessing your application to grant or to refuse will be looking out for certain things as to whether your character is something that can be accepted to be conducive for the British public or not. Because the moment you become a British citizen, that is full stop. And so they want to be clear that you are somebody who is able to stay with people or to be admitted to become a British citizen. Now, the requirements have been updated all the time, the character requirements. And the last update was on 30th of April 2026. So you can see just about 1 month.
Mhm.
And and it is the case that if you don't meet the requirement, it will be difficult for the application to be granted. So if producer is available, we'll be showing us. But let's situate the key factors in context.
Mhm.
One, criminal conduct. Criminal conduct will affect your character and it will trigger focus by the caseworker. So criminal conduct. And we look at criminal conduct. The next one is anything that might be an offense and that some warning has taken place. But let's put all that into the criminal conduct. Then there is other aspect which has to do with your behavior. You may say that that is not a big deal, but again, it becomes a big deal for the caseworker. Example, you owe the government and you have refused to pay. How do you owe the government if you are just a normal person living in the country? How do you owe the government? You are not a businessman. So how do you owe the government? You owe the government when you are not supposed to access public fund. For example, hospital.
Mhm.
You go to hospital, you are treated for some serious illness. We are not talking about GP because GPs provide primary care. That's okay for everybody. But you are not supposed to go for medical treatment and you go for it because of the medical situation you found yourself. After that, they give you a bill to pay and you failed to pay. That means you owe the NHS. NHS is for the government. So that is how come we say you owe the government. So hospital related bills. Two, you owe the taxman.
Mm.
The taxman is HMRC, and you owe because you have claimed some benefits that you are not supposed to claim, and they are chasing, you are not paying back. If you owe council tax, they are chasing, you are not paying back, or anything to do with the taxman, so to speak. So as long as you owe the taxman for unpaid tax and you don't pay, it will affect your ability to naturalize. Then we're also looking at owing the court. You owe the court when you have been taken to court, or either you take the government to court or government took you to court. Could be Home Office took you to court or the council took you to court or any other. and for whatever reason, you are supposed to pay a court fee as part of the process. You
Mhm.
didn't pay the court fee, or the court that fee that ought to have been paid to the court becomes a debt owed to the court. If you don't, and it is still lingering on, then becomes a character issue. You have failed to take responsibility, and that is character. It's not about crime, but it's about social misbehavior. That's how
Mhm.
they take it. So we've mentioned the health service, we've
Mhm.
mentioned the tax office, we've mentioned court, and again home office. You owe home office, you fail to pay. That is another. And how do you owe the home office? You take home office to court, they win the case, they ask you to pay their cost, and you fail to do so. That is one way you can be owing the home office. Now, the nugget we had for today introduced another dimension where you
Mhm.
have been claiming benefit, but you have not been honest about it. We are not saying that if you qualify, don't, but if you don't qualify and you claim, that is dishonesty. That can be a character matter. So these are different things that
So,
can
but
trigger.
then with the benefit issue, now you don't qualify, you claim that in itself has been classified. But if you claim and, for instance, you go for council tax discount where you do not qualify, would that be, is that punishable? Let me put it that way.
Remember, we said that it is not a criminal conduct matter,
Hmm.
but it's a social misbehavior
Okay.
because you are not supposed to go to that port, do you?
Yeah,
Are
you're not.
you? Are you? You are not. And if you are not supposed to go and you go, that's breaking a rule. And the rule is simply that how did you even to get it in the first place? You might have said something for them to believe, right?
To believe it, yeah.
So if you said something for them to believe, that made them give you the money. If they knew about it, they wouldn't have
They
given.
wouldn't
So,
have given you.
but for your lying behavior, they wouldn't have given the thing to you. And if they find out about it, they will take the position that you lied about it, and that can show that this is the character you are in or who you are. So becoming a British citizen with this behavior, even when you haven't become, you are playing games. Then when you become, you may be selling the whole country, for example.
Mhm.
So these are some of the things that they take serious. So finding out, they will find out. And when they do, the caseworker will be following the rules. So what does the caseworker use to determine whether to refuse or not to refuse on the basis of your character? Producer is going to show us the publication that came out on the 30th of April
April.
2026 and is version 7.1. So it's called Nationality 7.0, Nationality Good Character Requirement. So um, we are told that there are a lot of things in here. So producer, if you can help me, by expanding it for me. No, zoom in or zoom out, whichever way.
Yeah. I think it's the largest we can get, but
Oh,
I can help read
no.
it out. Okay.
Good, good. So this is the one. Yeah. So he's done. So please now go up a little, up, up, up. No, no. Okay, okay. Just slowly go down the content. Slowly, I'll tell you. Full stop. Stop. Factors to consider. Considering the balance of probabilities, application for requirement, young people, then we go down custodial sentences, but the key thing here is be factors to consider. So, yes, Cool. Let's look at the factors to consider.
Okay. So when it says factors to consider, it
So these
reads
are the
that.
things the caseworker will be looking for. Remember, we said, what does the caseworker look for
Mhm.
to assessing your character for naturalization? These are the key factors. One.
Okay. So then it says that unless there are sufficient contravailing positive factors to demonstrate that a person is of good character on a balance of probabilities, a person will not normally be considered to be of good character if there's information to suggest that any of the following that I'll be looking at apply. First is criminality. And
So, Ragu, for the benefit of the community, let's summarize it.
mhm,
Simply, if any of the factors applies to you, then your character is bad. You cannot be admitted to the position of British citizen.
okay.
Yeah.
So broadly, we're talking about criminalities, international crime,
So,
financial soundness,
mm,
notoriety, deception and dishonesty, then immigration related matters. Maybe we can pick them one
yes,
after
one
the
by one.
other.
So let's
And
go. Let's start with criminality.
yes, and it says that if they have not respected or are not prepared to abide by the law, for example, they have been convicted of a crime or there are reasonable grounds to suspect, meaning it is more likely than not they have been involved in crime.
Okay. So here, for the benefit of the community, is simple.
Mhm.
Have you been taken to court for a criminal offense? One.
Okay.
Are you in the process of going to court for a criminal offense? When we say somebody has been taken to court, it means the person has already been charged.
Hmm.
So the person has received a charge notice that you've been charged, and they've been invited to go to the magistrate court to plead guilty or not guilty for the offense charged. That means the person has gone through the first stage assessment of case or no case through the CPS. CPS is the Crown Prosecution
Prosecution
Service.
service.
So once CPS has okayed that the police should move further to charge, and you are charged, then your character is questioned. Even though you haven't been proven guilty yet, your character is questioned because it says that, or there are reasonable grounds to suspect, meaning it is more likely than not they have been involved in a crime. They didn't say they have committed a crime, they say they have been involved. That is
Involved
the
in a
charging.
crime.
So once you are charged, that means you have been involved. One. So we are looking at before, so getting involved and actually being involved. So
Mhm.
getting involved, here we are looking at you've been charged. You've been invited to the police station for a caution meeting, what we call C3 meeting. No, we call it um, caution. And the caution simply means that you have the right to speak or not to speak because that is the process. So the police station, you go and you have to, so the police interview or the caution interview. So when you've been invited for caution interview, that is also important. Your character is questioned.
Mhm.
Even though you are not there yet, but it hasn't been concluded. So, so before you receive the conviction, there is there are a lot of things that can still affect your character in terms of naturalization application. So the only time that you haven't received conviction, but you don't have to worry, is when you have received notice from the police to say that the case has ended. Nothing to answer. So where there's nothing to answer or nothing to worry, then the case is closed. Then that one, when they ask you, have you ever been blah blah blah, you can say no. Because the fact that you've been sent to the police station and they took you through the process and they said there's nothing, they are not pursuing any charge against you, then you are okay. But where they are pursuing charge against you, you are not okay. And once the charge has been pursued and the trial has ended and you have also been convicted, then you are also to worry for your character. And after conviction, either you receive custodial sentence or you receive community sentence or you receive suspended sentence. Regardless of the sentence, you've gone through the charging process, prosecution process, and you've been convicted. That is going to affect your naturalization application. So that is one factor. If
Mm.
there's any question, Otherwise, we move to the next factor.
Let's move on to the next one, and it's talking about international crimes, terrorism, and other non conducive activities. And the detail is that if they have been involved in or are associated with war crimes, crimes against humanity or genocide, terrorism, or other actions that are considered not to be conducive to the public good. This looks and feels and sounds quite straightforward, isn't it, lawyer?
Yes. So here, when you are applying for naturalization, they will ask you, have you ever been involved in any of these activities, engaged in terrorist activity, as supported, done this, and we usually person will say no, no, no. But if the person has been, then of course. So it's more to do with international related crimes. Here, they didn't talk about money laundering, but they are talking about war crimes, terrorist activities, and other non-conducive activity. All right.
Right. Financial soundness. If
Hmm.
your financial affairs have not been in appropriate order, for example, they have failed to pay taxes for which they are liable or have accrued significant debt. Now, maybe the question I'll ask straight away from this one is that oftentimes you let us know that yes, you can have debt, but if you have arrangement in place and you show commitment that you are paying it, it's okay. Significant debt. I may be having a debt of so much. I've made arrangements to pay, but it might be of a huge amount. Would that go against me?
So that is fine. But we're talking about debt that affects your conduct or character. So
Mhm.
somebody may be owing so much that they are buried in debt and they decide to declare themselves bankrupt.
Okay.
Bankruptcy creates unusual financial unsoundness.
Mhm.
And for that reason, you cannot be of good character. But if you owe debt, who doesn't owe debt? Everybody. And so if you owe debt and you have arrangement to pay your debt, that is good behavior. That is what is expected of you. But if you abandon the debt, that is where the problem lies.
Do
And
they set a level of indebtedness that may sound alarming, or once you have an arrangement and shown commitment to pay, it's fine?
right, it doesn't matter once there's arrangement in place. That is what we expect.
Mhm.
So you and the creditor are both clear on what ought to be done in terms of the next steps. So you are okay. But when you abandon the debt, it doesn't really matter how much, but obviously it wouldn't be £1. So they said significant. And
Mhm.
so if it's significant to the extent that you want to declare yourself bankrupt, because once you are declared bankrupt, the debt is wiped off. So it's good
Mhm.
for people who want to have a fresh start, but it's not good for people who want to have a fresh start to apply for naturalization. So such situation will be good for people who are already British citizens. But if you are not there yet, then you have to behave as a normal person would do in a civilized society such as Britain.
Okay. Financial soundness explains. Let's look at notoriety. And it says that if their activities have been notorious and cast serious doubt on their standing in the local community. A very interesting example comes to mind, lawyer. Almost every month, somebody gets a parking ticket and it piles up. Every now and then, letters that come to their address is about that offense that they have committed. Um, you park at the wrong place, they give you a punishment. You park at the wrong place, they give you a punishment. If it compounds like that, can we say that this is a very notorious person who is known for their notoriety?
So the question is, you park at the wrong place and you are given a fine, and what do you do?
You pay?
You pay. That's what normal people do. They pay. They
Yeah.
take responsibility. They don't give excuses. They don't tell stories. You pay. You've paid, you've paid.
Okay.
After all, You parked there knowing that they will bring you a bill and you paid. So be it. That's normal. But we are looking at such behaviors, drink driving.
Mm-hmm.
Driving, you know what they didn't mention? Notoriety, they didn't mention driving stuff per se, but
Yeah.
driving related offenses or motor related offenses will go under notoriety. Drink driving, driving without insurance, driving without license, and all those things. And when you do that, the consequence is that you'll be banned, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are banned from driving for whatever of reason, that will go against character. So when you're applying, they will ask you, have you ever been involved in blah blah blah? Then they will list all of them, including criminal issues.
Mm-hmm.
And once you select one of them which applies to you, you have to give explanation. And that's where they will take time to look into it, whether it meets the threshold or it's something that can be waived.
Is the threshold very high?
Threshold is always high. I mean, there are certain things. Some people will call me lawyer. I have 6 points. I have 10 points. I have 2 points. I have nine. Whatever it is, will it affect me? So I usually take them through the questions. The question is clear. Have you ever been A, B, C, D? If that description fits what you know yourself to have been involved in, you say yes. So,
Mm-hmm.
have you ever been engaged in driving related offenses? Yes. They will say, describe what happened. I was caught for overspeeding and I was given 3 points. This was 3 years ago. It is no longer showing on my record. When the day happened, you give the date. This will be waived. It's not a big deal
Okay.
because when you go through that, usually they give you a point and they give you training. If it is happening the first time, they give you training. Or if it happened the second time and so on and so forth, and the training is you've had a training within the last 3 years, then they won't train you again. So the point will be on your record, but you just have to disclose it.
Okay.
Yeah, but where drink driving, serious offense, um, um, red lights, there are certain things we call strict liability offenses. Strict liability offenses are not indictable, and you don't have to be proven guilty or not guilty. It is guilty as it happened. Example, red light. Example, drink driving. Example, driving without. These are strict liability offenses. So serious strict liability offenses may go against you. Standard, I'm using my words carefully. Standard, not normal, because none is normal. But standard or moderate strict liability offenses may be waived. But don't say that this will be waived, so I will try it. You may not get a caseworker, it may be back and forth. But if it's happened already, then of course you don't have to worry. Get a lawyer to put in a mitigation for you when you are making the application.
The next one lawyer talks about deception and dishonesty. And they're saying that if they have been deliberately dishonest or deceptive in their dealings with the UK government, for example, they have made false claims in order to obtain benefit. That's clear as to what they're talking about, and especially in relation to the new update that came on the 30th of April.
Yes. So it's all about lies. Sometimes when you use the word deception, it sounds posh, but let's use lies.
Mhm,
Using lies to claim benefits. That is pure misconduct.
mhm.
Yeah. And that will go against you.
Immigration related matters. If they have breached immigration laws, for example, by overstaying, working in breach of conditions, or assisting in the evasion of immigration control, where such matters are not to be disregarded for that person, and is asking us to see non-compliance with immigration requirements and all that.
All
That
right.
in itself, um,
What's the
well,
last word there? What's the
I
last
have made an application. You have denied me. I have stayed in the system, evaded one way or the other, long stay. After some time, I put in an application. I'm considered because I've stayed here for that number of years and all the rest of it. Would I be punished for that?
I was asking you, what is the last word? What's the key word there? disregarded, right?
Yes.
So disregarded also means waived
Hmm.
or considered or pardoned.
Okay.
So where such matters are not to be pardoned or to be waived
Okay.
or to be accepted or to be disregarded, then it will be used against you. So the ones you've mentioned are all fine. One that will not be accepted or disregarded will be illegal entry into the UK.
Okay.
And that from the 10th of February 2025, the government was clear that if you entered illegally and you've decided to survive and you have had your indefinite and you're applying for naturalization, that history will be used against you. And you cannot go for naturalization because your historical character will be deemed to be unfit for public good, unless you have a reason why you should be pardoned. And that is where disregard. So, unless you have a reason why it should be disregarded, then it
Hmm.
will be regarded.
The last one says deprivation. If they have previously been deprived of citizenship, you tried once and that's it. They won't give you again.
Is that what you are saying, or
I'm
that?
asking that if you tried once and they don't give you,
Oh, I thought
you
you
will
are
be given
giving.
again.
You are making a statement.
Anyway,
It didn't come
I should
across
have
as a.
varied my tone.
It didn't come across as a question. Okay, so ask it. Ask a question.
I'm saying that if you apply once and you are not granted, does it mean that that's the end of the story for you?
Oh, okay. So that is a question. The answer is it doesn't mean that is the end for you.
Okay.
Now, this is where you have been actively been or you have actively been deprived. So where they say that because of ABCD, you can never become a British citizen.
Okay.
So the highest the person can go or get to is what?
Appeal to the Supreme Court.
No, not challenging. You can't
Oh,
challenge.
then
So
the highest you can go to is indefinite leave to remain.
indefinite. You can't go
Okay.
beyond that. So there are some people who know that their highest is indefinite because they have some skeleton that only they know about.
Hmm.
There could be
Okay.
some deprivation note given. And where you have been actively deprived that you can't go to this point, you cannot. You keep trying, but you'll be refused because it will be on your record. Not many people get to that point, but some do.
Mm. So yes, if you just joined us, we're looking at some of the things that will go against you character-wise when you apply for naturalization. The resource we had on there, if we can bring it back, I'll go through them quickly, and then we'll move to the next level of our conversation. So we're talking about, I think it started with the criminality, yes, and we looked at that. We have looked at international crimes, terrorism, and other non conducive activity, financial soundness, notoriety, deception and dishonesty, immigration related matters, and lastly, as we just mentioned, deprivation. Now, Laura, this one says that this is a non exhaustive list. Does it mean
Yes.
that there are certain other things that may be brought into play?
So somebody can say that, but if that is the list, then there will be a loophole.
Hmm.
Because where it is defined, then your job is to find out whether yours can be outside any of these topics or
Okay.
headings. So if it is outside the heading, then you can say that, well, it is not one of the things you've mentioned, so mine should be considered or it should be fine. But they have told you also that the list above is not exhaustive. That means even if it is not clear that yours is covered here, if we think it's about character, it will be picked up.
Okay.
Let's go down a bit. Considering the balance of what? Probability.
Probabilities.
So this is where discretion comes in. Whether the caseworker should waive it or not. Please read that bit.
It says this part of the guidance sets out that some types of criminality and other non criminal behaviors are considered serious enough that the applicant will normally be refused. But whether criminality or other non criminal behavior sits under that threshold, you must decide whether they are of good character on the balance of probabilities.
Good. So, balance of probabilities is where the person will carry out assessment to conclude that this one. So, it says where the behavior sits, right?
Mhm.
Where the behavior sits below or under the threshold, then the caseworker has a discretion to give or not to give. This is where you can say that, oh, I want to get a caseworker who will be lenient. For that one, there's some flexibility. Example here would be drink driving, where you have points. Are you with me?
Yeah,
Even though driving is an offense, notoriety, without um, insurance or stuff like that,
insurance or
you will be
license.
given points. And once you are given points, it's an offense, you will disclose. But that will sit below the threshold for
Okay,
seriousness. And so the caseworker has conscience to relax the rule for you. That's the discretion.
okay.
But then it also says that um, when all these things on the balance of probabilities are considered, the application will. It didn't say will be refused, but what did it say? Will normally.
Well, normally, yes.
Now, this is where the lacuna is. Where we say that, why didn't they say that it will be refused? That's one English word, isn't it? Will.
Hmm.
Will means it will happen. Will. Absolute. But it says will normally be refused. It means that there is some element of may in there.
Okay.
And that is where we say that where these character issues come into play and you have good reasons to explain, the law says that the application will normally be refused. It doesn't mean that it will be refused.
Hmm.
And so, if it will not be refused, but will normally be refused, then it's a case of may. And so, your strong argument pointing out the mitigation will offer you the amnesty of a leeway. And the caseworker will make a note that it will normally be refused. On this occasion, it didn't meet the high threshold for refusal because of the mitigation considered. And so I grant the application.
Right. Before the balance of probabilities bet, the previous paragraph says if the person does not clearly fall into one of the categories outlined above, but there are doubts about their character, you may still refuse the application as you have explained. You may also request an interview in order to make an overall assessment. Any cases wish to interview should be referred to the permanent migration interview team. So then it gives the caseworker the window to make that judgment and say, okay, let me give this person the benefit of the doubt. Let me ask them questions and see if they can give me answers that will put them below the threshold. Would that be what it is that this is talking about?
Yeah, that's a fair point. For example, there's a case I did. The person entered the UK with under a different name.
Hmm.
At a point, changed the name, and he was granted 2.5 throughout, got indefinite, and at the point of naturalization, he was refused. So when he came to me, he had he wasn't sure what to do, whether to make a new naturalization application or to challenge. So I suggested to him that, well, you have a choice to put in a new one if you have mitigation. But then the documents presented to me were such that during the 2.5 episodes, if I say 2.5 episodes, you know what it is.
Yeah, the
During
renewal.
the period of renewals, 2.5, 2.5, he applied to remain based on the child as a parent. And during one of those applications, I think the first one or the second one, the previous lawyer had argued that when he was entering the UK, he entered using somebody else's document and name. So that is obvious. So even though he has survived up to this point, they are using that information to conclude that his character is not conducive at the time he entered the UK.
Mm.
So the mitigation, so his story was instruction was that, oh, this is not the case. It appears that the lawyer said things that I have not even what mentioned.
Mentioned.
He had no clue what the lawyer said. So I said, well, but this is what the lawyer said. This is what the people are telling you. So read. He read and said, oh my God. I said, well, if that's the case, you have to instruct that this is not a point. So he instructed, we argued and said that, but even that, they said no. And as I speak to you, that we have challenged again for the decision to be reconsidered, simply because it is obvious on their record that somebody said that he entered illegally. What we argued was that, well, if you know that you are not sure, what is the best thing to do? Invite the person
Mm-hmm.
to the interview or for interview. So if you didn't do that and you just conclude simply because somebody has made mistakes to say things and they are on record, you cannot use that against this person. So if where you are not sure, you should. So where they are not sure, the law requires them under evidential flexibility rules to invite the person for face-to-face conversation to ascertain the veracity of the point they are relying on to refuse before they can do that. So that is why they have been warned. And so if, for example, a caseworker doesn't do that, you can use this as a way to argue that your policy says that you have to where you are not sure. If it is
Mm-hmm.
obvious, fine. But where you are not sure, more or less a borderline, is it or not? Is it above or below the threshold? Then you have to invite the person for more information to be able to conclude whether it goes below or it's above.
If you just joined us, we're live on BWTV and we're bringing you the community and the law. This afternoon, we're looking at character requirement when it comes to applying for your British citizenship. We're looking at what the caseworkers look for and also how you can measure yourself before you put in that application. Before the break, lawyer, let me ask a very straightforward question. When I put in a naturalization application and it is not granted, do I have the right of appeal?
You do not have right of appeal. However, you have a right to seek reconsideration of the decision.
I I was going to ask a question. Someone, what's the difference between that and an admin review?
An admin review, well, you can say that, well, that's similar to admin review. Yeah. So admin review is where they have made obvious mistake and you have
Mistakes.
pointed
Okay.
out
All
to
right.
them that, look, this is I and I used I, but you thought that it was capital I, and so you refused me. But I'm telling you that I use small I.
Small letter I.
So go back and fix it. That is admin review.
Okay.
Reconsideration, there's no mistake on the part of the caseworker. Remember, it's discretion. So the caseworker used discretion to refuse on the basis that the matter or the factor that was considered for character sat above the threshold.
Okay.
The caseworker used discretion to say that no, this one it can't go below or it stays above. So they refused you. But you are telling them that no, they have to reconsider the decision by reviewing the mitigation that the person provided, or
Okay.
reconsider the decision by looking at the document or whatever evidence there is here and there. So you can say that, well, then that is similar to admin review because
Admin
it is going
review.
back to them. So I agree with you on that point that they are similar, but the law sees them as They are twins in a way, but they both have their own conscience.
Okay. Well, folks, if you have any question, text us 07399208468, or after the break, you can call in on 0208 or leave your comments and questions in the comment section below at BWF Solicitors and at BWTV, both on Facebook and YouTube. It's a community on the law and it's brought to you by BWF Solicitors.
Based in London, we are a dynamic award-winning firm specialising in a range of legal services. Welcome to BWF Solicitors, a trusted and experienced law firm specialising in immigration and nationality, appeals and judicial review, dispute resolution, family and matrimonial, and other family law disputes with international context. These include matters such as private child arrangement orders, contested and uncontested divorce, non-molestation for domestic violence, and financial remedy. Our childcare and family team appreciate the issues facing you at such a difficult time. Our advice is delivered in a confidential and sensitive manner. Meet Bernard Owusu, our esteemed senior partner, with over 32 years of experience and known for his expertise and dedication to serving our clients and the community. BWF Solicitors stands for integrity, respect, excellence, teamwork, diversity, inclusion, and service to the community. We provide tailored assistance specific to your case. At BWF Solicitors, every day is filled with dedication, creativity, and a commitment to finding the best solutions for our clients. Our team at BWF Solicitors is ready to assist you with all your legal needs. You can find us at the 4th floor, Anna House, 214 to 218 High Road, Seven Sisters, London, N15 4NP. Our main office line is 0208 493 7340, or our emergency line is 07712 761 884.
Welcome back and thank you for sticking around. If you haven't shared the page, please do that now. If you haven't liked it, please do that now. If you're new here, I would want you to like the page, click on the notification button, and be notified anytime we put content on. We are live on BWTV, and this afternoon we're asking, is your character good enough for British citizenship? We have found out what the caseworkers will be looking for when they are looking at such applications. And from BWF Solicitors, we have lawyer Charles Asma as a resource person and guest. You realize that he's very methodical. He situates the situation in a very practical way, so you can really understand. He breaks the law down so very well, and I believe that if you have any questions, you are ready to put that to him now as we move along. Remember, I got him to explain the nugget, and I posed the question about the student who was having consultant discount. He completed his course, but has still continued to enjoy that discount because he's not declared it, and he's asking for advice whether it's going to affect him when he puts in his naturalization application. 0208 493 7345 in the comment section below on Facebook and YouTube at BWF Solicitors and at BWTV, or you can send a text 07399208468. Now let's take some of the questions you have brought in. Kinda Kamara, how long does respondent review take during appeal after filing? Lawyer.
So the whole process will take 48 weeks. 48 weeks. So if the respondent hasn't reviewed yet and it is still within the 48 weeks, fine. The respondent will carry out um, its review, and if the review suggests that they are happy with your argument, they will end it there. If not, they will tell the court to progress the appeal so that you meet them for a face-to-face contest, literally. So I don't know how long it's been, but tell your lawyer. Your lawyer will go on the system and check whether the review has come or not. If you are doing it yourself, check when the when you filed your own case. I don't know when you filed your case because you are talking about the home office, but what about you? When did you file your own case? So if you have just filed your case, you don't expect them to stop what they are doing and look at yours immediately. So it all depends. If you tell me that, oh, I filed my case 6 months ago and it still hasn't been reviewed, then of course I will tell you to tell the court to ask them to review. But if you just filed it, then you don't expect them to also just review. So it all depends.
It all depends. Kinder Kamara on YouTube. Thank you very much for that. Let's pick the next one, which is from Betha Atia J. I came to the UK with a care or skilled worker visa, but I got a new sponsor from prisons as a prison officer. Do I qualify for 5 year settlement since it's a public service job?
So if the person has switched to the prison sponsorship certificate, then the clock, of course, is going to start on this one, and the
Mhm.
person will be fine within 5 years because the new law coming says that public service workers, including prisons and so on and so forth, will do within 5 years.
Okay. All right, Betha, that's your answer. Thank you very much for bringing that one up. We go to the next one coming from Chipa Jima Pimpong. What happens if one who has applied for indefinite leave to remain on EU settlement scheme on benefits decides to give birth with her partner who is currently on postgraduate visa? Does the child automatically become a British citizen? Can the partner on postgraduate visa switch status after the child is born? Will the benefit enjoyed by her partner delay her indefinite to remain decision? Several
So,
questions, lawyer.
so we are going to answer this question the way we answer it, uh, the way we answer not immigration, legal scenario. What is this legal
Mhm.
scenario? And I
Okay.
also show you how the caseworker will deal with it as well.
Okay.
So it says that I apply for indefinite leave to remain. I'm on benefit. Benefit is not a big deal. But the question is, we don't know whether the person has applied and got it or not. That is open, right?
Mhm.
We don't have that fact. So we are going to assume. Let's assume that the person applied and was granted indefinite leave to remain. So this person has indefinite leave to remain. If the person has indefinite leave to remain, the next question will be, I'm on benefit. If you're on benefit, it's fine. Because if you're on if you have indefinite leave to remain, or you have EU 5 years or indefinite, you qualify for benefit. So it's not a big deal. Now, the next point, which is the law itself, is I give birth with my partner. So the person has a partner and they have a child. My partner is currently on a postgraduate visa. One, will my child be automatically British?
Mhm.
And that is why we needed to introduce assumption. But if you remember the assumption we introduced. We assume that the person already has been granted indefinite, right?
Yeah.
Because we are not sure whether
We're
the
not
person
sure. Yeah.
applied and waiting for decision or applied and was granted. But let's say that maybe the person was granted. If the person was granted, the child born to the person with indefinite leave to remain, which is, it says, what happens if one has, and let's assume that this person who has the indefinite is the woman, because it says that gave birth with her partner. The partner is postgraduate. That means the lady is the one with indefinite, isn't it?
Yeah.
So is the lady's child, not the guy's child, is the lady's child British? Answer: yes. Reason: under Section 1, Subsection 1 of the British Nationality Act 1981, the law says that a child born to somebody with indefinite, which is this woman, if the indefinite was granted before the child was born, which is the case, the child is British automatically. And that is answer to question 1. And the reason is Section 11 of the Nationality Act 1981. We go to question 2. Can the partner on postgraduate visa switch status with his child? Answer: yes. Reason: under Section 117D, subsection 1 of the Nationality, Immigration and Asylum Act of 2002, the child is a qualifying child because the child is British, based on Section 11 of the Nationality Act. And since the child is a qualifying child, the father can apply under Section 117B6 of the Nationality, Immigration and Asylum Act of 2002 to argue that since my child is British and I and the mother are the ones looking after the child as a family, if I leave the UK, my child may be affected. And so I want to remain in the UK to continue to be a good father. And this is the evidence. I look after my child. I have evidence from school, from GP, from wherever. We have photos. My wife can attest to that. Yes, he becomes a parent of a qualifying child. And therefore, a refusal will be inconsistent with the laws I have already quoted and also Section 55 of the Border Citizenship and Immigration Act of 2009, Section 55, and also relevant provisions. And as a result, the father, which is this postgraduate guy, can convert from postgraduate visa to Appendix FM parent of a qualifying child. Next one. Would the benefit enjoyed by her partner delay her indefinite leave to remain? Brakweku, now this takes us to the conclusion.
Yeah.
The last part tells us that the assumption we made cannot have been made because we are told that the indefinite leave to remain decision hasn't come yet, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And because
That's what the last part is saying, really.
yeah, that's the last part. So now it's clear. All the points we have raised were based on assumption, right? Now
Mm-hmm.
we have been told that we have to disregard those assumptions because the indefinite leave to remain decision has not come yet. And
Yeah.
so it's possible that by the time the decision comes, the child has been born, isn't it? And so if the child was born before the indefinite leave to remain, then the mother will have to register the child to become a British citizen under Section 1, Subsection 3 of the Nationality Act of 1981, which says that if a child is born after the mother or father has acquired indefinite or citizenship, the child can be registered to become a British citizen. And once the child becomes a British citizen, all the points we raised under the assumption will be valid. The father can convert. Now, will the benefit affect the indefinite? No, because under EU settlement scheme, EU nationals and their family members are not exempted from accessing public fund, and therefore it will not affect the person's indefinite leave to remain decision.
Chipa and all the numerous valuable clients that or viewers, so to speak, that are watching us. You see how he has really unpicked all the details, dissected it so very well, and applied the law, and also looked at how the caseworker will be looking at this. That's what you get from BWF solicitors. And Lawyer Charles Asma is a pivot here at the law firm. Trust BWF Solicitors. Call them on 0208 493 7340. 0208 493 7340. But on the program, if you want to call in and speak to Lawyer Charles Osma or ask any question, you can call in on 0208 493 7345. Send a text 07399 or leave it in the comment section below. We have one from Joseph Labi. My wife is a UK national and I'm on my 5-year visa. Further leave to remain the that's
Marriage,
the
marriage.
marriage. Okay. Uh, that we can say the spousal route, isn't it?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. And I want to bring my 2 children here, but I lost my job. Can my wife do for me? And if yes, what are the requirements?
So my wife sponsored me. I'm on the 2.5 year visa and the 5 year route. Can I bring my children?
Mhm.
Okay. Now, for him to bring the children, because the children are coming, we have to show maintenance. But he can also show finance of 29,000. It's between he and the wife, not just himself. So if he says, I lost my job, right? Can my wife, I don't know how much salary the wife is. If the wife is on, let's say 29,000 plus, that is easier. Otherwise, we have to look at it from the point of view of the case of voodoo, which says that if the money the family or the household receives is equivalent to that of somebody on benefit and they can survive with their children, then that should be fine. So that is based on mathematical calculation, which is okay, we're not going to quote, but it's mainly it says that A minus B is equal or is greater or equal to C. What is he talking about? It's talking about the fact that C stands for the maintenance money required. And
Mhm.
if it is equal to or greater than amount that somebody on benefit receives, then you are okay. And A
Okay.
stands for your income, and B stands for your council tax and rent. So if you take your council tax and rent from your income, and the difference or the balance is equal to C, which is money somebody on benefit is getting, then you are okay for the children. We have to check the number of children and know get the total amount. So that is the law and the formula. Now, so if it doesn't matter, your wife is the one going to do it anyway, not you. Because your wife is the one who sponsored your application. You cannot bring the children. So your wife will be making application to bring the stepchildren. And of course, you are part of it. But the question is, do the children qualify under the rules to be brought to the UK? I don't know. Is this wife the mother of the children? If this wife is the mother of the children, then no issue. But if the wife is not and is the step mother of the children, then we have to know where the actual mother is. If the actual mother is not in the UK with a visa, then the question of sole responsibility will come in. And this application will be made actually under paragraph 297 of the immigration rules. I, A, E, D, and F will come into question, where the person will have to show that the mother of the children is dead, and that will be D. Or the mother of the children is also in the UK with a visa, that will be A. Or the mother of the children is not dead and is also not in the UK, but in the same country with the children. However, he has sole responsibility. He has to prove it under E. Or D, F, there's no sole responsibility. However, the lives of the children is such that it will not be good for them to remain in the country where they are. And the law says that leaving them behind, their circumstance is serious and compelling, such that their exclusion from the UK will be undesirable. And that is safeguarding. If you're able to prove that, then the application will succeed for the children. And the caseworker will make reference to paragraph CHI 3.1 to 3.2 of Appendix FM to the immigration appendix children to the immigration rules. And here, the caseworker will say that even though their stepmother is here, even though the man is married to the stepmother, even though the children are away, so responsibility is not met, or there's no serious and compelling family circumstances. So even if you meet the maintenance requirement and you don't meet the specific matters to do with children's application, so responsibility or compelling family circumstances safeguarding, the application will be refused. So make sure you do a good job. You have to, because the children must come. You have to.
Listen, it's always best for a layman to give his job for an artisan to do for them. And I believe that that advice that lawyer is giving, make sure you do a good job. If you need support, speak to BWF solicitors and they will definitely assist you. Now, remember, I gave you the nugget and the scenario question. Let's go back to it and just refresh our minds on that. And we said that many people assume that good character requirement for British citizenship only relates to criminal convictions. That is no longer the reality. What you're saying is that the Home Office Nationality Guidance has confirmed that financial conduct may be considered when assessing whether an applicant meets the good character requirement. Issues such as unpaid council tax, tax liabilities, dishonesty in claiming council tax discount, bankruptcy related misconduct, or failure to deal responsibly with debts can raise concerns during a citizenship application. So, before applying for British citizenship, check for any council tax arrears, resolve outstanding debts where possible, maintain repayment arrangements if liabilities remain, and ensure all things are disclosed in full, especially when it comes to financial issues. This is from the new Nationality Good Character Requirement published on the 30th of April 2026. So, this person who came to school, Bruce, is in a dilemma. So let's see his scenario, consider that, and see what advice we could give him. He completed his master's degree course in June 2025. During his studies, he applied for council tax discount as a student, and he was granted. Despite completing the course, he's been receiving his discount up to date. The accumulated tax discount that he has claimed since June 2025 is £4,500. Is planning towards UK naturalization application and needs legal advice. What would you tell him? Bruce's naturalization application may be refused for falsely claiming council tax discount. Bruce's naturalization application may be granted because he did not know that he should have stopped claiming the discount. And it's neither of above because UK naturalization application requirements do not include council tax discount. What would your answers be? Think through it and then come up. But I will take one more question for Lawyer Asma. Well, my producer says two. I'll take two more questions for that before we run out of time. David Harrison Aqua says, my partner has applied for a visa on the family route as she has a British child, but it's been over 16 months and yet a decision has not been made. Is there anything that needs to be done?
Yes, the law says that after 12 months, and 16 months is after 12 months.
Mhm.
They didn't say when after 12 months. After 12 months could be 10 years.
Okay.
So since it's more than 12 months, he can start to chase. If
Mhm.
he did it through his lawyer can chase. If he did it himself, he can chase. He can also speak to his MP about the undue delay for the MP to chase for him. These are his options.
Okay. And the final one we pick here is from Kinder Kamara. I filed the appeal online 7 months now, still the same stage. I think it was from the previous question. How long does respondent review take during appeal after filing? And he's come up to add to say that he filed the appeal online 7 months now and still at the same stage.
The question we asked the Kinder is not answered. We ask Kinder, when did you file your case? When did you submit your evidence, your argument, your statement, or your evidence, which must be reviewed by the Home Office? When? That
Okay.
was done.
Okay. So, Kinda, if you could come back before we round up, or then you could put that on our social media platform, and maybe we can pick up some answer for you. Thank you very much,
Yes, in
David,
any
for
case,
thanking us.
it takes 48 weeks. 7 months is times four. That's 28 weeks, isn't it?
Mhm.
And it's 48 weeks. So there's still 20 more weeks
To
waiting
go.
time.
Okay. All right. At least you have something to measure that with. So let's take this quick one to show you our social media handles, and when we come back, I'll pick up your answers quickly for Lawyer to help us see if we got the correct advice to give to Bruce. We'll be right back. Right. Bruce completed his master's degree course in June. During his studies, he applied for council tax discount. He was granted. He's completed his course, and since June 2025, he has claimed 4,500. He's scared. Citizen Kojo says one may be refused. Okay, thank you, citizen. The answer to you is one. That's right. Let's go to Richmond Kusia Moating. Yes, the naturalization application may be refused for falsely claiming council tax discount. Linda Asari agrees and says it's number one. The next one from Kwekubunsu, and it says may be granted because he did not know that he should have stopped claiming the discount. Kweku, thank you. We go to Mary Adu. Mary says is none of the above because the naturalization application requirements do not include council tax discount. Theophilus thinks it's number one. Thank you, Theo. The next one from Efia Sherry. Efia Sherry thinks it's number one. Thank you, Efia. The next one from Ebenezer Osafo, and he thinks it's none of the above because the requirements do not include council tax discount. Erama Jewa also thinks it's number three as well. I'll take two more. Isaac Malfoy says number one, British naturalization may be refused, but Nana Mensah disagrees that it may be granted. Lawyer, Nanaya says number one. Okay, Nanaya, thank you. Lawyer, um, what would you say?
Yeah, so um, I was going to say, Brago, what will you say?
I've run to you for refuge.
I understand. I understand. Okay. But what does the law say? Not what I say. What does the law say?
Okay.
Read the law. What does the law say?
Well, the latest good character requirement published on the 30th of April says that financial conduct may be considered when assessing whether an applicant meets a good character requirement, and issues such as the unpaid council tax liabilities, dishonesty in claiming council tax discounts, bankruptcy related misconduct, or failure to deal responsibly with debts can raise concerns during a citizenship application. Lawyer.
All right. Okay. Now, it says that make sure you have arrangement in place. Our friend Bruce, isn't it?
Mhm. Yeah,
Now, so we are told that his is about council tax discount, right?
yeah,
Is council tax discount one of the things raised by the law? Yes.
yes,
So that is one point. The law says council tax can create issue. Then let's look at what Bruce did. What did Bruce do? Bruce ceased to qualify, but he did not tell them and continued to enjoy as
Mhm.
if he qualified.
Would that
When,
be seen as dishonesty?
but what do you think? When you behave as if you are correct, because if you know you are correct wrong, you won't get what you need, but you behave you are right so that you can enjoy whatever you were getting before. That is willful attempt to deceive, right?
Hmm.
And that is termed as dishonesty.
Okay.
So Bruce has used dishonesty by conduct to obtain discount from the council tax discount.
Yeah.
Now, what happened? He ceased to qualify, but he didn't tell them and he continued to enjoy. So he owes them 4,500.
Okay.
Has there been arrangement to pay?
No.
They found out. Yeah. So there hasn't been any arrangement to pay. And let's say they have found out or hasn't been found out. So what we can see here is that somebody who has taken advantage and the rules say that if you do so, it will affect you. And the question here is if the caseworker is looking at this factor to make a decision on Bruce's application, would the caseworker say that, oh, this one sits above or below? Below means that he didn't know. Above means that he should have known. For 2, 3 years, he should have known. He went ahead to claim. So, if the caseworker is assessing this objectively, will the behavior sit above the threshold or below the threshold?
Above.
Above. And because it sits above, the application will be refused because he breached the good character assessment. He didn't meet the good character assessment threshold.
Okay. So then we can say that Bruce's naturalization application may be refused for falsely claiming council tax discount. Can't we?
Yes, the answer is one.
Well, those who said the answer is one, you are correct. The latest Home Office guidance, remember, it was published on the 30th of April 2026. Citizen Kojo says ignorance of the law is no excuse. But I always say that it's always best for the layman to give their job for an artisan to do for them. And I'm directing you for legal matters to go to BWF Solicitors. This afternoon, we looked at good character as a threshold or as a requirement for your British naturalization application. Lawyer, in brief, what did you tell us?
In brief, we discussed that if you're applying for naturalization, you have to check whether you are clean or unclean. Simply, if your character is not good enough, it will go against you in deciding your naturalization. What do we mean by your character? We mean if you have involved in criminal conduct, or you have been involved in financial issues, or you have been involved in misbehavior within the community, what we call notoriety. You have involved in immigration issues such as entering the UK illegally. You have involved in deception activities such as claiming benefit illegally or deceiving to claim benefit or cancel tax. All these things are matters for the consideration by the case worker. The case worker believes that the things are so important and so it cannot be waived or disregarded, then it will be used against you. Your naturalization application will be refused. However, if you have a mitigation or reason or explanation, then you have to make sure that you always include the explanation or mitigation in your application for the caseworker to consider as well. And once that is the case, caseworker may then apply discretion to decide whether the issue falls below the threshold or above. If it is above, it's likely the application will be refused. If it's below, it's likely the application will be granted because the caseworker will apply discretion to waive the issue or the factor. All these are important, but on balance of probabilities, it's a case by case, and therefore your case will determine whether your matter is serious enough or not so serious. Always seek legal advice before you start, where you think you may not have been clean in the past, and your past may visit your present and may affect your application.
Thank you very much. And viewers, listeners, and clients, friends, members of the family, join me to say thank you very much to Lawyer Charles Asma for spending time with us this afternoon and taking us through that topic so very well. I have always said, and I will say, that when it comes to legal matters, a trusted partner is BWF Solicitors. Thank you, Nanaya, for clapping for that. And we do a thumbs up to BWF Solicitors. Last month, thank you so very much. I will believe that we'll have another opportunity with you same time next week. So those of you out there, spread the word. The Community and the Law is always live Saturdays between 4 p.m. and 6 p.m. UK time. And we have the opportunity to enhance our knowledge and confidence when it comes to the law. I've been working with Padmo Dodu, Sheila Ankra, my producer, Professor Ade. Have all been very supportive. Congratulations to Pamela for winning the Worker of the Month, May 2026. And to you out there is a lot to get from BWF solicitors. So engage them and then give us the feedback. My name is Oriku Frimpon. Have a good evening.